All right, so we're starting to slow down on that number. I'm gonna go ahead and get started at least with introductions while everybody else is still logging in. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, and I am so excited that you'll be able to count down with us for the top 15 things that makes Binghamton University unique. I am joined here today by some of my colleagues. My name is Christiana Friedrichsen. I'm one of our admissions counselors, and I'm joined by Stephanie and Tanya, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Stephanie Swim. I am also an admissions counselor here at Binghamton. Christy and I are both alum, fun fact. So we do have kind of that student perspective as well, in addition to being here working as staff. I'm going to hand it over to Tanya. She's going to just introduce herself. She's going to be doing the background chat today. So she's going to be kind of behind the scenes. Go ahead, Tanya.
Hey everyone, my name is Tanya Barajas. I'm one of our admissions counselors here. I also do international admissions. I provide Spanish language support for students, domestic and international. I'm also a point of contact for undocumented students. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in to that Q&A bubble. A lot of them will get answered along the way, but I will try to get to as many as I can.
All right, so the first thing that you probably are thinking about when you are looking at colleges, especially at Binghamton, is our academics. So that is definitely the first couple of things we're working on talking about today. So at Binghamton, we have over 50 accelerated degree programs. This means that you can earn your bachelor's and your master's in 5 years instead of 6, saving time and money. If you want to pursue one of these programs, we recommend you speak with your academic advisors early when you're an accepted student. So there's nothing that you need to do right now, especially if you're working on applying. But when you talk with your advisors early, this is going to ensure that you are on the right track to complete your coursework within the 5 years. In order to do that, you complete most of the coursework for your bachelor's degree in your first 3 years. In your 4th year, you take both bachelor's and master's level courses, graduate with your bachelor's degree, and formally apply to the graduate school. In your 5th year, you are admitted to the graduate school, and then you focus solely on graduate coursework. One example of this offering is our education pathway. So you may know already we don't have an undergraduate major in education, but we do have our graduate school of education. So we encourage our students to major in what they want to teach, and they become experts in their field, and then they go on to earn their master's in education in our graduate school. So like I said, that's just one example of our 50 accelerated programs. Holding a master's degree is often an advantage when looking for employment opportunities. It makes you a competitive candidate and opens more opportunities for different positions. It can also mean a difference in salary. On average, a master's degree can earn you $10,000 more annually than a bachelor's degree. And by choosing one of these programs, you'll save a full year of tuition dollars. That sounds good, right? Plus, you'll pay undergraduate tuition rates for your graduate classes during that 4th year, your senior year. Also, because the cost of living is so low in our area, it makes the graduate education at Binghamton even more affordable. Another advantage of pursuing one of these programs is that you can stay connected with your friends and faculty that you've already made those relationships with, and you will already have familiarity with campus and the surrounding areas. So moving on to number 14, like I said, we're counting down to number 1. Number 14 are some of our unique majors. If you've been to an information session before, you know students who do really well at Binghamton are those students who like to be involved and who have a lot of different interests. It's not uncommon to see students double majoring, adding on a minor, and often these areas of study are seemingly very different. For example, I know one of our students, Heather, she had a double major in studio art and biochemistry. So our students, really have interest in different fields. At Binghamton, we have over 130 different programs housed within the 6 different schools. I'll take just a minute to remind you about those schools that we have. We have our Harper College of Arts and Sciences, perfect for students who have no idea what they want to study, or if they have a lot of different interests. We have our College of Community and Public Affairs. That's going to be human development and social work, perfect for students who want to work with people. Our School of Management, our business school, so you'll find accounting and business administration underneath there. Our Watson School, so our engineering school, which has biomedical, mechanical, industrial, computer, and electrical engineering, and computer science. And Decker, our nursing school, and our pharmacy school. So definitely pathways there. In addition to some of the more common majors, some of the ones we just talked about, offered at many colleges and universities, we also offer some programs that are not as common. So you can see some of those examples there, from Arabic studies to actuarial sciences. There's a lot of different more uncommon ones that we have. And I would encourage you to do your own research into those course offerings. And you can even hear about some of our students' experiences in these programs. So at the end of the session, I'm going to put in a couple links that you can copy and view later, including our Major Minute YouTube page, so you can hear from some students who have been in some of these majors. And I'm also going to include the course offerings, so you can check them all out on your own. But definitely look forward to getting into those. Number 13, our Koffman Southern Tier Incubator. So located about 4 miles from campus, we have this incubator. You can see that there in the picture. This incubator offers a space to help startups succeed. It was built with small businesses in mind, providing space, programs, mentors, and a conducive ecosystem. Interested startups can purchase memberships at different tiers, which includes different accommodations such as office space, access to meeting spaces, access to internet, and being featured on the website. Just a few of those perks there. In addition to what we might consider as an office space, with cubicles and things like that, the incubator also offers high-tech labs, wet and dry labs, and common collaboration areas. And some examples of companies that have utilized the incubator include many Binghamton University graduates, including Microbella Cosmetics. Microbella Cosmetics was founded by a microbiologist during her time studying molecular and microbiology at Binghamton University. The unique elements in the products offered by Microbella is the natural ingredients and beneficial bacteria used to produce the soaps and creams offered. She did a lot of research, both at her time at Binghamton and afterwards. Parlor City Vegan is another one. That is a local restaurant, and they are doing plant-based foods. They are based in Binghamton. They are striving to bring people together from all backgrounds to celebrate the regional bounty of upstate New York. And they work with different farms to have the best produce and support local farms and local workers. And there's Infinity Greens. So that's founded by a 2018 graduate of Binghamton University, and they provide efficiently grown microgreens to customers at a low and affordable rate. And they were actually, this graduate was working in the Koffman Southern Tier Incubator while they were a student at Binghamton. And now we'll move on to Jewish Life, number 12. So about 35% of our students at Binghamton are Jewish. This results in a very active Jewish community on campus. We have Hillel, which provides a lot of programming and resources for students on campus, and the Rohr Chabad Center, located just outside of campus. This offers a space for Jewish students to socialize and celebrate. And it's within a short walking distance right behind our Dickinson community and our Newing community. So it's really accessible for our students to get to. And it's really common to see students kind of making that walk over there. Binghamton University observes most of the major Jewish holidays, including Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Passover. And that means that the university does not hold classes and supports students going home to celebrate these holidays with their families. We also offer a kosher corner in one of our dining halls and several other kosher food options in our other dining halls across campus. And Hillel and Chabad help to observe the Sabbath and encourage students to celebrate together by hosting these very large and very awesome Shabbat dinners that a lot of students go to. Students are also able to maintain and continue Jewish studies through programs and course offerings on campus. And one other thing, while we're here, in the beginning, we're during Hanukkah right now. We have the lighting of the menorah ceremony on campus. And this is actually right in the center of campus on the spine. And usually it's a pretty big event in person at night, and it's usually really fun. But we are still continuing that tradition even with our students off campus right now, and students can tune in virtually. They are doing a Zoom session every night for that candle lighting. So you'll be happy to know that a lot of our traditions are still going on even in the midst of the pandemic. Okay. So number 11, sustainable initiatives. Sustainability is one of Binghamton University's top priorities. The university is committed to sustainable practices as represented by its campus landscape, our building environment, curriculum offerings, and a lot of different clubs and organizations around this theme. We're working to help restore the global ecosystem, foster healthy living, and reduce our impact on the environment. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the things you see listed here. Hopefully not too much in depth, but there are some really cool initiatives going on. So in sustainable buildings and energy, since 2001, Binghamton University has followed New York's executive orders to incorporate sustainability and energy efficiency in building design and construction. So we are following the guidelines provided by Leaders in Energy and Environmental Design, or LEED. So LEED buildings save energy, water, resources, generate less waste, and support human health. So it's been a really integral part of our sustainability mission. And a lot of our new construction buildings have been built to these standards. And this includes our new engineering building. If you've been on campus or seen some pictures, you might have noticed it looks a little different. It has been renovated with those standards in mind, and many of our new residential halls as well. And we also plan to construct a living building at Nuthatch Hollow within the next few years. This is going to implement an environmental classroom and research facility. For water conservation efforts, we are really focused on conserving our water sources. In order to reach its goal, the university has installed infrastructure to reduce water usage. Due to its effort, 52 million gallons of water is saved each year across campus. Isn't that cool? So much water is saved, and some of these initiatives are installing low-flow faucets and toilets across campus. They also put artificial turf in our Bearcats sports complex to cut down on the need for irrigation. We've also purchased different methods to reduce pool water evaporation evaporating of that pool water. We have also installed bottle filling water fountains across campus. We also have a lot of going on in our sustainable food and dining across our dining halls. We're trying to eliminate food waste and compost waste. Some of the things that we're doing is using china dishes at our dining halls to reduce waste from disposable containers. And because we do, especially right now with our takeout model for the safety with the coronavirus, we are doing a lot of takeout. And this has become really important. Last year, we started to implement the Aussie system, which supplies reusable containers. And that's what we're leaning on heavily this year for sure. We're also doing a lot of work in smart energy research, including renewable energies and solar panels and things like that. We do have a really big waste and recycling initiative as well. Our comprehensive recycling program, we have a lot of different bins across campus for students to recycle. In 2015 alone, we recycled 650 tons of materials. so many different materials and a lot of different unwanted things as well. And each year when students move out, we actually collect all of the unwanted food and clothing that students leave after each semester. And the bins are placed in all of the residential communities, and students can donate the items that they don't want to take home. In 2015, we collected and donated 1.7 tons of sealed food. So all of those chips or ramen that our students didn't eat, that all gets donated to the local community. We do have alternative transportation from zip cars that our students can rent, carpooling with rideshare apps. We do have our free bike rentals on campus that students can use with their ID. And then we do have our cab services, shuttles to local airports, and of course, our own buses, our blue buses that you may have seen on campus, as well as encouraging our students to use our community buses too. And then we do have a lot of different sustainability courses that our students can take as part of their coursework for their major, whether that be general education credits, part of their actual major if they're in environmental sciences, or elective credit. So lots of really important things going on. All right. Talking about our faculty, one of the things that makes us really, really awesome, our professors, well, first I'd like to say, as Stephanie said, Stephanie and I are both alum, so I can definitely speak from experience how dedicated our professors are to making sure our students are succeeding. And, you know, they really know their stuff. They are top scholars in their subjects, and many of them are renowned researchers, and they have earned, you know, the highest degree in their field. Many of them are published, and many of them actually work with our students on research. So a lot of our students are collaborating on their research initiatives and being published as well. So I'd like to talk about a couple of our professors, starting with the man pictured there on the top. That's Dr. M. Stanley Whittingham. He is a 2019 Nobel Prize winner in chemistry, and he's actually a really big reason why we're able to tune in and talk to each other today. He actually co-founded the lithium-ion battery that powers our laptops and our cell phones, and he is a faculty member on campus. He actually came to Binghamton because he wanted to collaborate with students. It was big enough to have a lot of different people, faculty and students who have a lot of different thoughts and ideas, but small enough that you could collaborate with those different people. So he has a lab right on campus, and he often teaches on campus as well. And I just wanted to talk about one of my favorite professors, Dr. Sarah Laszlo. I don't actually think she's on our faculty anymore, but I took perception with her when I was a psychology major. And she, first of all, one of my favorite classes, but she was working on brain prints with some of the top security, you know, in the country. So, you know, we all have thumbprints and fingerprints, but she was looking at all of our own individual brain prints that could be used for top security. Some real high level stuff there. And that was going on with our students on campus. All right. And research. So this kind of goes into that a little bit as well. We have a lot of research and ways that students can get involved in research, starting, of course, with your professors. I already mentioned in our last slide, students and professors collaborate on research. You can get involved that way. We also have a couple other ways you can get involved in research as well. Our undergraduate research center is a space for students to go to find different opportunities for research, collaborating with those professors or graduate students as well. We also have different programs like SRI, which is the Summer Research Immersion Program. So students can do research in the summer. And we do have some very special first year programs as well. So these are for first year students only. That's our FRI program, the first year research immersion program, and the SOURCE program, SOURCE project, excuse me. And these are both for first year students, invitation only, allow students to come in and learn how to do research, how to present that research, and make connections to do research in the future. I would love to go into detail about these, but I will just do just a brief overview. The first year semester research immersion program is 3 semesters long, and you have 10 streams to choose from. And this is mostly focused in STEM-based research, things like ecological genetics and clean energy. And then the source project is 2 semesters long, and it has 6 different streams for you to choose from, more focused on societal concerns and the humanities. So things like people, politics, and the environment, and thinking through painting. We also have a brand new stream called Pandemic. So they're definitely looking at things that are really important to the world going on right now, and things that don't actually have answers yet. So some really great research initiatives going on campus. And I'll hand it over to Stephanie.
Okay, thank you so much, Christy. That was a very comprehensive overview of all the wonderful, unique things that we have on campus. And I'm gonna kind of bring up the tail end here with the rest of the presentation. So first, I'm going to talk about student-run programming and student-run programs at Binghamton. Binghamton University is certainly a very student-governed campus, and it most certainly is shown through our spectrum of student-run programs and endeavors on campus. Specifically, BU, we're known for our very sophisticated acclimation services for new students, definitely in the form of what we call new student programs. So new student programs support the process of acclimating all entering students and their families to life at Binghamton through student-centered comprehensive programs that serve as the cornerstone on which academic success and positive social transitions are built. So it's really important to us. So new student programs in collaboration with other departments, across the university assist new students and families with the transition to Binghamton University. New Student Programs has 3 specific programs to help new students with this transition. Orientation and Transition Program Services, first year experience courses and classes. And we also have something called the Emerging Leaders Program. Specifically, the Emerging Leaders Program, or ELP as we call it, is a semester-long certificate program for entering first semester students, so freshmen and transfers alike. So these are students who are interested in learning about and practicing leadership, becoming connected to the university and local community, and developing important skills for success in college and in life. Emerging Leaders joins one of 6 small groups of approximately 13 new students in a specialized knowledge community based on their interest, providing a lens from which to explore and practice leadership. So each knowledge community is led by a leadership team consisting of trained undergraduate peer mentors, along with a faculty program advisor and professional staff program advisor. So this is just one example of something students can get involved in, coming in as a new student to really acclimate you to what's going on in the university and obviously the community of Binghamton too. Also, and another important entity on campus is Binghamton University Student Association, which we also like to call the SA. For short, we like to have a lot of abbreviations here at Binghamton. So the SA governs, charters, and funds all student organizations at BU. So the Student Association oversees more than 450 organizations on our campus, also with several more in the process of becoming recognized. And as a student at BU, you can start a club or organization with the help of the SA. So they're really here to kind of facilitate, our growing network of different organizations and clubs on campus. So you can kind of try to start a club here. There's a formal application process attached, of course. And, it's also important to note that we have a lot of scholarly clubs on campus and academic clubs, but our students also like to have a lot of fun too. Just to name a few, and I always talk about these ones because I think they're really fun. We have a cheese club on campus where students just kind of eat cheese and talk about it. And it's just kind of a nice thing to do to kind of take their minds off studies, and who doesn't love cheese. We also have a pirate club on campus, and I think this one's really fun. I heard about this one last year where they kind of just dress up like pirates and ninjas and everything like that, and they hijack other clubs' meetings, which it's kind of silly, but it brings a light note to kind of the other scholarly and academic clubs that our students are also very interested in. So it's really a nice mix of fun and leisure, as well as academic and taking everything seriously. So we're definitely a work hard, play hard community here at BU. So I think that's really kind of unique and great. Also, just as Christy mentioned, I will be providing, or Tanya will be, I should say, some links throughout or at the end of the presentation, kind of in these different, these different unique things at Binghamton that we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to provide, or Tanya's going to be providing a link to the SA's website, as well as a link to kind of the process as to start a new club or organization on campus. So that's going to be provided at some point throughout the presentation. So keep your eyes open for that. Moving on. Okay, so here we're going to talk about civic engagement at Binghamton, which is a big thing here at Binghamton. Binghamton Center for Civic Engagement, or CCE, supports academic, personal, and professional growth by providing students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members with various opportunities that create a connection between Binghamton University and the local community. So it's kind of all about giving back. So as part of what we like to call our Impact Bing, which represents a plethora of options or endeavors related to giving back, among some options for our students or that are available to our students are some service listings available to students interested in volunteer, community, and population outreach. Students are able to use a searchable database on our site located on the Center for Civic Engagement's website, namely. And it contains hundreds of community organizations and different opportunities available for students to be continually engaged. So you can kind of peruse that database and see what really relates to you and what impacts you the most, and really take advantage of different options that we have for our students to really get engaged. There's also youth initiatives where our students are able to volunteer and intern with youth in local schools, so schools in our community. There's definitely, this is really relevant right now, there's also some online and virtual service opportunities. We're going to also send out a link to peruse those opportunities later, and you kind of look at what we have to offer our students. But kind of in the situation, our current climate surrounding COVID, that virtual aspect is really important, and we've always had that, and we're only kind of trying to add to that because of the world we're living in right now. So there's still opportunities even in what's going on right now. And there's also community engaged courses for our students. So they're able to kind of take advantage of getting some course credit, but also, kind of giving back and being engaged as well. So these courses are centered around engagement in the community. They're credit-bearing courses. Students use what they're learning in the classroom to address a real need in the community. These academic service learning and community engaged learning courses can be found by searching for courses on our website under special course attributes in the BU Brain. So you'll find out a lot about the BU Brain once you become a student, but that's kind of in that database. And then just specifically some current engagement courses that we do have to offer students, just to give you kind of some specific examples. We have a course called Sweet Harvests, Bees and Maples, and this is all about maple syrup and beekeeping production. This environmental course explores these two specific practices across the Northeast, certainly with particular focus in New York State, because we are in New York State. Some students study the history of the production, the biological and ecological components of this, the embedded social and cultural meanings, and specifically climate change's impact on the present and future of beekeeping and maple making, which is really important to our environment and key to kind of our survival, which you'll learn. So this course includes guest lectures and field trips, and it's a very experiential experience. So it's a lot of fun. And then just kind of shifting gears, another course that we have available for students is a course offered by Binghamton School of Management, which is our business school for our business admin and accounting students. Here, undergraduate and graduate students can design and present international exporting strategies for local businesses. So there's really kind of a nice spectrum. I just kind of wanted to give you kind of both ends of that to see kind of the reach that we have for that. Moving on. We're going to talk about community-based living, and this is something really, really cool at Binghamton. It's very unique to Binghamton, so definitely pay attention. So at Binghamton, we offer a really unique setup for residential living on campus. I think it's amazing. It's also important to note right off the bat that we offer gender-inclusive, chemical-free, break, quiet living, and transfer housing options. So really all across the board, any specific needs we really cater to. Among these options, our students are able to choose from 6 communities on campus. And what's great is that we offer an Oxford model, wherein each community kind of expels a different experience. Many of us counselors like to compare our model to kind of like the Harry Potter houses. So each community boasts its own personality with community-specific traditions and events attached to them. So it's really, really fun. and it's really, really unique, as I said. Students are able to choose the community that best fits their variety or their needs of preferences. And also, fun fact, there is no freshman designated housing, which is really great. We are happy that we're able to offer that. So as long as one adheres to housing dates and deadlines, it's likely, you'll be placed among one of your top choices if you decide to come to Binghamton. And also we will provide a link describing each community at the end. Right now we're at the end of the session. Whenever Tanya is able to share that, you can kind of learn about our 6 different living communities and kind of do some background before you may be coming to Binghamton to see which community kind of fits your needs and is most applicable to you. So that's great. Also within these communities, we offer students additional support, resources, and opportunities to learn and connect, certainly through what we call our living learning communities. So this is really important. In this way, students are not only able to have niche living accommodations, but they also have the opportunity to get involved with additional learning experiences. So it's kind of like a sub-community within your living residence community. You can now be involved with learning community within that. So learning communities within living communities, it's really quite brilliant. Just like our residential living communities, our learning communities are attached to a specific theme and specialty. Classes and experiences are designed for each community to foster interaction and learning within a smaller group. So it's just kind of an opportunity for more networking. Students who sign up for learning communities are usually housed together, joining others who share similar interests and goals and group activities, certainly both inside and outside the classroom. And in addition, each is headed by what we call a collegiate professor here at Binghamton. So the collegiate professor organizes the underlying mission and goals of each of the learning community or communities. With an office within these communities, these collegiate professors help students navigate the complexities of college and life, and definitely do so by connecting them to resources, programs, mentors, and other opportunities across campus. These collegiate professors educate, they celebrate, they motivate, they inspire, and certainly support our students so they can grow into their best selves and certainly thrive here at Binghamton. So also, in addition to our amazing collegiate professors, each community offers easy access to expert consultants and programs specifically developed for career and professional development. So we have career and professional development consultants within these communities, which is amazing. So, each community has a consultant with dedicated office hours, so you can kind of talk about different kind of needs you're having or different concerns you may be having with collegiate professors and these kind of these residential consultants. And it really is it's all about support here at Binghamton. We really offer so many resources and support options, and we do so within our living community. So I think that's pretty rare and definitely something that makes Binghamton unique. All right, let me move on to the next slide here. Okay, so be healthy. This is something that is also really unique to Binghamton. And also, fun fact, Binghamton University is among the top 25 healthiest campuses in the nation. And our Be Healthy initiative is certainly a big part of that. Be Healthy at Binghamton is a nationally recognized culmination of many health and wellness initiative options, resources, and services that we offer to our students and staff and faculty, as well as our community. The goal of Binghamton University's Healthy Campus Initiative, or HCI, as we call it, is to create an environment and an identity that encourages and supports healthy living. Certainly improving the health and well-being of our community and its members improves students' capacity to learn, reduces some of the high impact kind of issues that kind of can impede on academic performance. Certainly improves students' retention by improving coping strategies and health, and sets the stage for lifelong healthy living. And, because more than anything, a healthy student is more likely to be a happy student, and we're concerned about that. So of course, health is directly correlated to physical health and activity, and our campus has a host of facilities on campus to facilitate exercise and activity and kind of moving around. So just to name a few, I'm going to go over a few kind of facilities that are unique to Binghamton on our campus. First and foremost is our FitSpace fitness facility, which is amazing. It's over 10,000 square feet. It's got really nice bright lights and air conditioning and, different views throughout campus. So it's nice to kind of look out the windows while you're working out and have something pretty to look at. It has 60 plus cardio stations, 70 plus strength training stations. free weights, functional training zone with battle ropes, which is really cool. There's different punching bags and also some TRX equipment. So really it's a one size fits all, one-stop shop for kind of working out and kind of getting your steps in and kind of your heart rate up. So it really is a wonderful space for our students and our faculty and our staff. So everybody on campus enjoys that. We also have our recreational center pool, which is really wonderful. It has 5 lanes and is 25 yards long. So there's different aquatic programs and different fun classes that you can take in the pool. There's aquatics and program options that include lap and recreational swim. There's also swimming lessons, and there's some nice fitness classes that you can take using that resource. So it's really nice. We also have a wellness services suite, which has dedicated treatment rooms for massage therapy, nutritional assessments, and fitness evaluations. You can make appointments, which are available with both licensed massage therapists and registered dietitians. So a nice little treat that we have for students if you really want to dive deep and kind of, also if you're having a bad week and finals are taking a lot out of you, you can kind of sit back and relax and use that wellness space and schedule a massage or kind of in a one-on-one appointment with a health professional. So that's a really great option for our students. We also have some really cool outdoor wellness options too that you can take advantage of. We have our challenge course on campus. So the challenge course offers small group opportunities to focus on problem solving and kind of critical thinking, leadership skills and decision making. There's options to have 6 low team elements and 5 high challenges, including a 200-foot zip line. So students are able to go on a zip line, and which is scary in my eyes, but many students get a thrill out of that. So it's definitely a popular option that other students take advantage of on campus. We also have a disc golf course, which runs throughout our East Campus, which is more of a wooded area on campus. This golf course is 18 holes, about 4,500 feet. Par 58 course features a variety of hole distances and settings. I don't know what that means because I'm not a golfer, but I'm sure it's amazing. And definitely, what I've read about the golf course and have heard from other students and staff is that it can be challenging for a beginner and advanced players alike. So it caters to kind of both starting golfers and golfers that are kind of, more advanced and kind of really know what they're doing. So it really is a kind of one size fits all course for all different levels. So that's great. And then we also have, for an outdoor space, our nature preserve. I'm not going to go into depth about that because I'm actually going to talk about the nature preserve on our next slide. So you'll hear about that in just a minute. So in addition to these wonderful features, we also have a wide range of clubs and intramural sports for students to choose from that really vary in terms of level of competition as well as participation. So, you don't have to, if you kind of like a less traditional way to move around and be healthy and be physical, then in kind of a more fun way, then you can get involved with a club sport or an intramural sport and just, take advantage of what that can do for you. And also, like I said, it varies in levels of competition and participation. So, there certainly are some that have weekly kind of meetings and they do travel and are a little bit more competitive, but there also are some club and club sports and intramural sports that you can do that, you can kind of go when you want. And, it's just kind of a nice way to kind of get your heart rate up. So it really is quite the variance in terms of level of participation and competitiveness. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But in addition to wellness, we also, as we know, mental health is just as important as physical health. And Binghamton has so many resources, organizations, and facilities on campus dedicated to mental health wellness. All services related to just a variety of different umbrella topics under general counseling. We have folks that can help with time and stress management. If you're having sleep issues, if you're having some issues with drug and alcohol concerns, some nutrition and dietary guidance is a big one on campus. And even kind of the nitty gritty ones like relationship management, if you're struggling with managing your relationships or even getting acclimated to college life. There's counseling services for all of these things, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And what's great is that many of these services are included in your tuition price. So, there's no additional cost attached to kind of seeking these out, which is of course amazing, but is also underutilized here at Binghamton. So I really urge students to, if you're struggling in any way, there's help there, there's help on campus, and there's no shame in trying to reach out and better yourself and make yourself a more happy, healthy individual, and mental health is a big part of that. So definitely peruse that. If you want to know specifically about the organizations that are dedicated to these wellness and systematic support services at Binghamton, I'm just going to name a few, and you can kind of do some research and look these organizations up on our website and learn some more. So we have our Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We have our Multicultural Resource Center. We have a really amazing LGBTQ center that they actually just revamped, and our counselors were able to visit right before COVID, I think. And it's an amazing facility for our students as well. We have an office for services for students and disabilities. We have tutoring services. Of course, I didn't mention that. That's a big one. Certainly, we have our University Counseling Center, and we have some services that are exclusive to international students as well as transfer students. So there's definitely a lot to offer our students. And like I said, take some time to kind of look at our site and take a closer look into these organizations that we have on campus. Okay, let's move on. Okay, as I said, we are going to be talking about our nature preserve, which is something very unique to Binghamton. I know I keep saying this, but I saw a student ask a question when I was, handling or looking at some of the questions earlier, and they said, "Are these everything you're talking about today? Are these all unique to Binghamton?" And they are. Some universities and colleges might have some similar services or some resources that kind of are under the same umbrella, but everything we're talking about on this during this presentation is unique to Binghamton and kind of our own form of what other universities may offer. But certainly a nature preserve is not one many universities or colleges have. So I'm really excited to talk about this one. The nature preserve at Binghamton University is really truly one of our most treasured gems on campus, and certainly for good reason. The nature preserve spans approximately 182 acres, with 20 acres of that actually being wetland, which is really awesome. And it's special because it's something, like I said, that's so unique to Binghamton. To be able to offer students such a large and rare on-campus resource is just incredible. And certainly few other schools have such direct, easy access to such a variety of natural systems that are found on the nature preserve. So it makes this preserve a very valuable resource, certainly for teaching and learning in ecology, learning from the arts, literature, and outdoor recreation. So there's a lot of things that this preserve kind of covers for our students. Among other things, it's also the largest and best used laboratory on the Binghamton University campus. So it's used very, very largely for STEM and sustainability research. It doesn't have any workstations or sinks or computers or petri dishes or anything like that, but it is home to deer and different animals: beaver, fox, mink, muskrats, porcupines, other mammals, quite a diverse amphibian and reptilian population, and over 200 bird species. So the broadcast range to be sighted in any one place in the southern tier is pretty crazy. So you can see our animals even from around the community because of we do have those bird species. Also, the nature preserve habitats include different varieties of plants and trees. So what do we have here? It has hemlock forest, oak woodlands, a beaver pond. It has different streams. It has different wetlands, shrubbed meadow, and covered dry sites. So there's all different kind of ecological kind of varieties on our nature preserve. It also, in addition to kind of being used for research and all of that, it's also used for leisure and things like that. So the preserve includes a number of maintained hiking trails, and biking trails and just walking trails. It has a wooden footbridge on it that our students like to take pictures on. That's a hot spot for some Instagram pictures. So it's used for recreation and leisure, which is really great. Overall, the nature preserve is home to an amazing array of species, and it's just a nice, beautiful area for study and recreation. It's certainly a setting as part of campus that our students really enjoy, and it's a welcome site for students and faculty and staff and the surrounding community. So everybody really takes advantage of this beautiful resource that we have on campus. And we are going to be sharing a link to the site kind of describing the nature preserve with some pictures on there. So you definitely can check out the nature preserve and all of that once you get the link throughout the presentation. Okay. Moving on to our Human Rights Institute. So this is another really unique feature to Binghamton. I know I keep saying that, but this one is really cool too. The Human Rights Institute was launched to advance research and public policy initiatives and to develop high impact student engagement in human rights. So that's kind of the main mantra behind the Human Rights Institute. So with faculty from over 10 departments and programs, the HRI boasts research working groups studying topics such as labor, some hard topics like sex trafficking, refugees and migration, technology and human rights, and the relationship between religious and human rights. So there's just to name a few. Other affiliates of the Institute are engaged in field research in the local community across the country and certainly around the world. So some research being done, namely in Pakistan, Guatemala, and Greece, all through our Human Rights Institute. And a lot of this research is addressing most recently healthcare and post-conflict rights problems. So with the healthcare industry, how it is in this country in comparison to other kind of less developed countries, that's kind of a big topic right now as well, which certainly is relevant. Also the HRI, so our Human Rights Institute, creates opportunities for students to engage directly in human rights research and practice in the institute's with the Institute's central mission. And Binghamton, fun fact, is also the only SUNY of the 64 SUNYs that have a human rights major within the SUNY system. So we really can only do that here at Binghamton, which is amazing. Among other undergraduate and graduate programs proffered by the HRI, we again have that aforementioned minor in human rights. We have a first year research in human rights. So this is kind of via our honors program, our honors research program called the Source Project that Christy spoke about earlier. Again, a more social science-based research endeavor, and first year research in human rights is a big one that is developed through the HRI. We also have our Master of Science in Human Rights. So you can move on if you want to pursue something else for your undergraduate and pursue a human rights master's, you can do that at BU through the HRI. And the HRI also provides summer internships opportunities in human rights. So, and also these opportunities are both domestic and international. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of great programs and opportunities on campus that come out of our Human Rights Institute. The Institute also acts as a resource and a setting for some fun things that we have on campus. We have some debate forums within the Institute. Mock trial is held in the HRI. And some protest endeavors, obviously, from our students and community have been hosted by the HRI. So it's certainly a safe space on campus for all voices and opinions to be heard and done so in a peaceful context. So it really is a nice haven for our students and community members. Okay, so we're going to talk about diversity. And I did see some questions about diversity at Binghamton before I started presenting. So I'm really excited to kind of expand on that for you guys. So Binghamton has students representing each of the 50 states, and also Binghamton has been home to students from over 120 countries, which I did not know as a student, and it's really exciting that we've been able to host students from all over the world. It's quite the spectrum. So, and one of our strongest values is really unity. We're definitely a very inclusive community made up of people from very diverse backgrounds. And all of our students come together to learn and discover and serve the community here at Binghamton. Here, you'll be able to connect with people who look and think like you, and you'll also get to learn and grow with people who aren't like you at all. So you're really going to get a nice spectrum and different perspectives from different folks across the country and across the world, and from different backgrounds and kind of all of the above. So Binghamton really tries to provide a diverse kind of student body so that we can really have different tools that we all bring to the table and different competencies, and everybody kind of gains that the diverse value that we get from having such a diverse student body. So our commitment to diversity at Binghamton Inclusion is so important. We have an office and organization on campus dedicated solely just to that, located in Binghamton's Glenn G. Bartle Library, so our wonderful library, we have our Division of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. That's hard for me to get out sometimes. Which was created from the Binghamton University roadmap process and supports the development and implementation of diversity and inclusion initiatives that create a welcoming campus climate that exudes a fundamental respect for human diversity in all dimensions on campus. So we view diversity as all-encompassing and all individuals and groups, as well as social, cultural, political, religious, and other affiliations. So there's a lot of things covered with our Diversity and Inclusion Center. The office is committed to the idea of respect for human diversity in our learning and working environments, and to creating an atmosphere where prejudice, harassment, and discrimination is just completely unacceptable. So in addition, the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion also offers many developmental programs and services for students, as well as faculty and staff as well. So some of these specifically is first our cultural competency workshop training. So this workshop is designed to increase awareness, of course, and awareness of the cultural difference and appreciation, while highlighting ways in which cultural competency is directly correlated to professionalism in both the classroom as well as the workplace. So some nice cultural competency training, which is super important. The workshop features several activities. It also has some video presentations and in-depth discussions that make for a thought-provoking and engaging experience. And I know there's kind of two parts to that. So there's a cultural competency workshop 1, and then you can go on to phase 2 of the competency training if you are so inclined. So that's really great. We also have some student development workshops. To name a few, we have one called Standing Up and Standing Out, which looks into self-esteem development and how to kind of, to increase that if you're having issues with self-esteem. We have a workshop called What Kind of Leader Are You? And that uses the Myers-Briggs model to kind of establish what kind of leader you are, and the strengths and weaknesses of the kind of leader you are, and some areas that you can improve. So it really develops your leadership skills. And then we have another workshop called Signaling with Signs, which basically is an examination of the impact of symbolism in speech and everyday speech with one another. So some really, really cool concepts that you can kind of develop if you want to go through these student workshops that we offer. The division also acknowledges and educates on important cultural events. So it really hosts some and celebrates some cultural events that maybe go unnoticed sometimes. To name a few, they celebrate the National American Indian Heritage Month. So it's an entire month kind of hosting different events and workshops and topics and kind of back and forth on the national American Indian heritage. They also provide some assistance and information and acknowledgement of Election Day and voter registration education. So if students are interested in getting registered and learning more about that process, they can do so through the division. They also acknowledge the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is also accompanied by our LGBTQ Center. And, the division always acknowledges the history behind it and kind of the varying interpretations of other major national holidays that, the kind of less traditional viewpoints and information that goes unnoticed that we don't talk about. So, there's a lot of great information you can get from the Diversity and Inclusion Center. In addition, if you're interested in learning more about this valued organization on campus and diversity on campus, we're going to be sharing another link that can, give you some insight into more of what the organization does and kind of diversity on campus. So definitely pay attention for that. And finally, getting to our the number one most unique thing about Binghamton, it's definitely our students. So we love our students here at Binghamton. Our students are very active students and among the best and brightest in the country. The students here at BU really get the most out of their college experience. And as I mentioned earlier, kind of live that mantra, work hard, play hard. So it's really incredible. And the incredible thing about Binghamton University and our students is that you'll learn as much from your roommates, your teammates, your lab partners, and your professors, as you would any other, you'll learn the same from each one, I should say. So, you're going to find value in every relationship that you kind of gain at Binghamton. So there's going to be a lot of different viewpoints that you get, and they're all equally valuable. Our students are very talented, they're very diverse, and they're from, like I said, across the country and the world. So you're going to get that nice background of different viewpoints and experiences, which is awesome. Our students are also highly intelligent, they're curious, and they are passionate. So our students really get a lot done. They want to be involved. They want to change the world. They're explorers, they're certainly innovators, and they're eager and ready for challenges. So we really look for that when we're choosing students for our incoming class. What else do I have here? Our students are volunteers. They really take advantage of helping the community on and off campus. So they really give back a lot. But most of all, Binghamton students are all just really different. As I said, each one brings a unique perspective and set of talents to create a vibrant, engaging college environment that reflects global awareness and international flair as well as domestic flair. So we love that. And it's also important to kind of boast a little bit about the outcomes of our students, because after all, you want to pick an institution that really facilitates your academic and professional goals. So placement out of BU is almost 100% for many of our programs, and our students generally attain higher than average starting salaries as new graduates going into the workplace, which is awesome. Our students are accepted into graduate and doctoral programs at much higher instances in comparison to other schools in the national average. And many of our students give back in the form of alumni endeavors after they graduate. So they come back and really try to help the newer students and the current students, and they stay involved, because the Binghamton community is really close and tight knit, and our alumni base is definitely a big part of our current students' experience at Binghamton. Our students are truly what makes all of the unique aspects of the university possible and what it is today, of course. And we're so proud to represent, such a talented and generous student body, and one that continually makes strides to make the world and our communities a better place. So really excited about that. And that kind of ends our presentation today. So I'm going to come back on camera.
All right, so we definitely had a lot of questions. Thank you so much for all of your really great questions. We are running a little short on time, but I'd love to get through some of the questions that we did flag that we'd like to answer live. So I know we've got Tanya on here too. So Tanya, feel free to jump in if you'd like to help answer those questions.
Sure. A couple things I wanted to address. One question was, how easy is it to switch majors between schools? So this is a question that does come up a lot. My recommendation is for you to apply to the major that you really want. Some students might think, oh, if I apply to Harper College of Arts and Sciences, then I can switch into computer science, but there is not really a backdoor system for that. Switching from Harper College of Arts and Sciences to engineering, to nursing, to business, to these more competitive professional schools is not easy to do. You actually have to do what's called an intra-university transfer process. So you will have to complete at least one semester or 1 year of coursework at Binghamton University, apply through this intra-university transfer process. So essentially applying again, and you're going to be in a new pool of applicants made up of exclusively Binghamton University students. So it is very competitive. So we do have students who will fall into the category of they just want to be at Binghamton, so they're okay doing something like that. They're okay trying for it. And if they don't get in, it's great, because not that it's great, but if they don't get in, it's still okay, because they really just want to be at Binghamton more than anything else. And then we have another category of students who's like, no, my primary goal is engineering or nursing or computer or business. And if I don't get into that, then I'm not going to be happy. That's fine. If those are your values, go with it. Go with the one that you really want. Within Harper College of Arts and Sciences, it is easy to switch around. So if you came in as undecided and you want to do history, or if you came in psychology and you want to do economics, that's going to be an easier thing to do, because a lot of the courses that Harper students take will overlap and they will fulfill general education requirements for most majors. So that's going to be okay. So just wanted to address that question really quick. And, since we're already at the hour, if you have any additional questions after the ones that we flagged, I would recommend emailing them to admin@binghamton.edu. I think whatever questions we answer at this point are going to be just the ones that we flag. The other one that I wanted to talk about is in-person tours. So we do get several questions, and we miss you guys. We want to be on campus, and we want to see you. We want to, but unfortunately, in this climate, just out of an abundance of caution, and every university is different. I know, we've heard from students and families about, oh, this school is offering tours. How come you're not offering tours? Every school is different, but Binghamton, out of an abundance of caution, is choosing not to offer on-campus tours. At this time, we're still doing virtual tours. What's exciting, though, is that we have a brand new tour, Campus 360 tour. Maybe one of my colleagues could share the link for that. So with Campus 360, you can get into spaces that you wouldn't have been able to get into previously, even if you were at our campus. So for example, we're taking you into studios, we're taking you into labs, we're taking you into dorm rooms, we're taking you into those collaborative spaces that were mentioned before. So it's a very rich content that we're offering you. So we hope that you will look into that, and hopefully we can welcome you in person on campus very soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Tanya, for answering those questions. We are kind of at the end of the hour. I will say, again, as Tanya said, you can reach out to us at admin@binghamton.edu. We also have our live Zoom hours every day from Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 that you can visit. You can find that link on just go to our admissions homepage at Binghamton, and that link's right on that homepage, and you can click that and just kind of get into the chat and ask us any questions that you want. But also today, if you want to keep this process going and stay with us for most of the day, we do have another live chat with two of our counselors, my colleagues Byron and Michaela, who are both amazing and very versed on all aspects related to Binghamton. You can kind of go on our website right now and register for that event at 4:00. So that's a live chat at 4 if you have more questions that you want to kind of dig into today. In addition, oh, go ahead, Christy.
Just one more thing, because I know you're going on. I just want everybody to take a moment to look in the chat. We have put so many links. So as we're finishing up, make sure you are copying and pasting your chat so you have those links to refer to later. So open up a Word document. We've tried to put in some clues to let you know which link is which, but hopefully that will help you help answer any other lingering questions that you have. Sorry, Steph, go ahead.
No, you took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. So read my mind. For great minds think alike. Thanks, Christy. So definitely just take another minute, copy and paste all the kind of important links that we talked about during the presentation and links to sign up for future sessions. But we will be hosting more sessions throughout the week. This is our third open house week. So definitely take advantage of it because it's our last one before our deadline. So check out all the events that we have this week. They're all available to register for on our admissions homepage. So I think that's it. Thanks so much, gals. We all had a great time, and we hope that you guys got a lot out of this presentation. We know it was a lot of information, but there's a lot of information that's out there for what we were talking about today. So it was important that we covered a lot of ground. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate you attending, and join us for more events this week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.